Web Positioning Module 4, Marketing and Content. All aspects of optimization have been reviewed so far to lay a solid, stable, and perfect foundation. We could say that the throne is ready, but the true king is still missing: content. Google creates algorithms to allow users to find what they are looking for. It is useless to position our website first if users do not find what they need, since they will look for it at the competition. Therefore, content is about stopping thinking about search engines and listening to users. That is, putting ourselves in their shoes and offering them what they want. We also have to design a good marketing strategy that spreads our word before our competitors do. SEO is a long-distance race, and we never want to waste time. Content, the quality content. The first rule is to create original and quality content. This may seem obvious, but many pages use duplicate content either shared from other sources or plagiarized. And Google tries to reward those pages and blogs that work with new and interesting content that respond to the doubts or concerns of users. But as mentioned in the introductions, not only search engines should be taken into account, since users are not stupid, and they will also appreciate unique content and will be more willing to share it. The new algorithms of Google are particularly strict with the fraudulent practices of black hat SEO. These techniques are becoming obsolete because penalties are usually very difficult to overcome. Actually, it is not surprising to find pages that were previously in top positions of the search and now very far down from the top search. If we want users to be really interested in the content, we can offer something that truly attracts their attention. To achieve this, we usually need to avoid objective and aseptic information. We are not objects, but subjects, and that makes us subjective. So critical opinions where the personal point of view is clear will result in more interaction. The update frequency is also another important issue when it comes to positioning. Obviously, every company is different, and the frequency will vary according on whether it's a fashion blog or an online store or a corporate website. It will always be necessary to keep it balanced, not to saturate users, but neither to make them feel abandoned. Above all, frequency must be constant. If a page is updated daily and then the frequency decreases, Google can think that the activity has decreased and the traffic sent to it, that website will decrease also. Competition must be a reference to take into account. Analyzing the content of other pages will help us empathize with users and identify weaknesses and strengths on other pages. Images are a very attractive ingredient, but they need to be properly optimized so that they can be indexed by search engines. For this, the alt attribute must be used, as it allows us to associate a text with an image. This text should be short, descriptive, and have a similar structure to perhaps the following example. Name of film, poster of name of film. In addition, widely accepted formats should be used. These include JPEG, GIF, PNG, or BMP. In short, we should make it easy for Google and avoid all kinds of elements that are not recognized, JavaScript, Flash, etc. Pay special attention to spelling and grammar. These mistakes matter to a large number of people. Users can abandon their website. These mistakes will not only damage our reputation, but Google will also not be able to index them. That's an interesting question for Canadians in terms of all those OUR words and the OR words. I wonder if Google would pick up on that. Structure and keywords. Structure of the text will be of great help for its optimization, and for this, the knowledge acquired in previous chapters will have to be applied. Titles for the keywords are H1 or H2 tags. Introduction that summarizes the main ideas and contains keywords in the body of the text where the ideas are developed. Google has a preference for the upper left area of the screen, so whenever possible, the most relevant content will be placed there. Keywords are always important in SEO, and they are when it comes to content. They must appear whenever appropriate, but they must be measured to avoid a dense text. In addition, Google's new algorithms can understand that it is over-optimized and penalize their overuse. Synonyms can be a good resource to make the text more natural and avoid annoying keyword identity density. When choosing keywords to position in Google, the degree of knowledge of sectors must be taken into account. Generic words can attract mass audiences, but technical or expert users will use more specific words to search. Anticipate these possibilities and combine the use of more basic words with very specific vocabularies. Links and anchor text. Links are also essential. The pages will import content must be linked. Pages with important content must be linked with each other to make them more relevant. In addition, for a website to be consistent, all pages must also direct to the home page, since the higher the number of links, the greater its importance to Google. We must avoid orphan pages and broken links. In the above reviewed SEO suites, applications that check for these can be found. We can also use a simple web page to identify broken links, like this. The validator, W3.org, where the report of broken links will be given just entering the URL. Anchor text that also deserves special attention. Formulas such as click here are not very descriptive, such as which page to or file should not be used. Anchor text should ideally consist of a descriptive word that gives the user an idea of what is being linked to, so that they and the tracker can know where they're being directed. Using the URL of a page as anchor text is not usually advisable either, even though there are some exceptions. The main example is when the web page is being promoted directly, either because it is new or there is something new, or in the text that must be printed, where it is not possible to click later. The style of the anchor text must be well defined and different from normal text so that they can clearly understand that it is a clickable anchor text. Otherwise, users will not realize it's even a link. Writing strategies. Here are some strategies that can help us create and display content on our website successfully. As previously seen, the content is the king of our website, and our success in positioning depends on it. And there are some of the considerations. These are some of the considerations that must be taken into account when creating the content of certain areas of our website. Page titles. Page titles are undoubtedly the most important elements of the content. They should summarize the content of the page and suggest the content of the text. It is therefore an important area, which means that it is weighted with a higher relative value in the global calculation of relevance than words in less important areas, such as the last paragraph of a text. In order to achieve good indexing, search engines need page titles to be as descriptive and explicit as possible. However, users must also be taken into account, and the title should attract their attention to make them stay. Considering the descriptive titles are good for indexing, a good strategy is to write a more or less descriptive or boring title and compensate it with a heading that makes readers want to continue reading. We cannot forget that it is essential to help to appear in search engines, since otherwise users will not be able to find our website. This is why it is a good idea to use appropriate and descriptive keywords that help our website appear in the search results. However, we must take into account that depending on the search engine, the title and the headings must match. This is what happens with Google News. It is fundamental that a person responsible for writing knows about SEO, because it is not text. If not, it will be not focused on improving position, but on being attractive to users. Meta description. The content of the meta description does not improve the positioning of the page, but it can make the users click on the result if they want to read on the snippet seduces them. This feature makes it present the content as if it were an advertising text, as it should communicate the main benefits or competitive advantages quickly and effectively and encourage users to click on our links and not the competition's links. Below are some considerations about the title and meta description that must be taken into account in consideration when creating content for an online store. Title and meta descriptions on the homepage. Regarding the homepage, title and the following considerations should be highlighted. The name of the company, brand, and domain must be included. What is sold and to whom it must be outlined. If different products are sold, the most profitable product should be mentioned. The character limit of the title is 60. Regarding the meta description, the number of available families or brands must be expanded. Generic competition advantages must be included. Distinctive data or value must be added to try to attract the user, and the character limit is 140. Title and meta description on the product family page. Product family page titles must include the type of product or family of products listed. It is important to add synonyms whenever relevant. If it fits, the name of the online store should be added at the end, and the limit is 60 characters. Meta description. It must include the name of the family and the name of the most representative products and brands. It is important to include any competitive advantages of the family, as well as distinctive and valuable data. The content cannot have more than 140 characters. Title and meta descriptions on the product listing page. That title should include a name of the product, and its references words such as buy and offer should be included. If it still fits, the name of the product family can also be added. In the meta description, of course, the name, reference, and family of the products must be included. If relevant, the name of the business must be included. We must use any specific competitive advantages of the product, as well as the value propositions and status. Now we come to the first paragraph. As mentioned, the first paragraph should include the words title and heading. You do not have the same words. They can be synonyms, reformulations, or simple expressions, so that the search engine can confirm that the topic of the page matches that what the title and the heading said. We cannot forget that the coherence and focus of the first text blocks are what will eventually convince Google that the page deserves it to be on the top positions for related searches. It should be noted that the content can vary depending on the type of website. It also, in other words, a news website will not have the same kind of content as an online store. In the case of a store with the product listing page, it is important to have a descriptive paragraph of the product family, as this will help the page in the terms of relevance and informs the user of the available pages and products. Regarding the product card, it is important that the user find a descriptive text in order to know its main features and benefits. Now we talk about link text. We must make sure that the link texts are always relevant, descriptive, and related to the destination of the link. For this, it is recommended that the news titles or the names of the products are links to the detail cards in order to avoid expressions such as click here or continue reading. If the link is an image, search engines interpret the content of the alt attribute of the image text as the anchor text. Image alt attributes. All images should have a descriptive and relevant alt attribute. It is Important to have a system that generates the content of this attribute automatically, so that if the corresponding fields of the content manager have been adequately completed, the content of the field entered by the editor is shown. In the opposite case, it takes the default the value of the field of the title of the news to which it refers. Title attributes. Finally, the title attributes of HTML codes must be completed. Yes, one of the cases in which this must be done is when links are found, especially if they are associated with an image. It is recommended to complete the alt attribute of the image img tag, which relevant descriptive text of the content of the image. The title attribute of the link should be completed with relevant text descriptive of the destination of the link. Browsers do not show the content of the alt attribute of the img tag, but rather show the content found at the title attribute. Therefore, if we want to add information relevant related to authorship or when or where it was taken, this content will have to be added in the title attribute. Social media content. Social media are one of the great allies of web positioning, so we will have to take care of these platforms to get the most of them and increase traffic. Below is a list of tips that must be taken into account. Do not always talk about you. It is acceptable to publish promotional content of this kind on Community, but there would always be a balance with interesting and entertaining and fun news. If users think that we only want to sell them something, they will leave our community. Know your followers. Understand who your audience is, what you want to get from them, and what they can give you. Social media have detailed statistics to know your community. I use the necessary tools to know the best time and days to publish. First words. The first words of each publication will be the most important, both at the SEO level and to capture the audience's attention. Find a balance and do not abuse keywords, otherwise users will ignore your posts. Generate interest. For this, we can use various techniques that make content more viral and increase positioning. Direct questions are a very useful resource. What do you think? Do you prefer X or Z? They are a good way to motivate users. We can also use phrases to complete, like my favorite actor is ... Quotes, ephemeris, and anecdotes, that's a new word for me, are well received by users and involve many interactions. When creating titles, numbers work well. 7 essential tips for, if we can start with how to improve the web vision, or we can also raise expectations. Become a brilliant screenwriter. Call to action. If used in moderation, directly requesting user interaction has good results. Help us share. If you like A and do not like B, or like if. Exclusivity. Social media are the perfect places for users to access exclusive content of the brand. The fact that they can be the first to watch a premiere, see content, or get to know the company increases a sense of engagement. That is a feeling of commitment of the user toward the brand. Participation. Contents and surveys are a perfect strategy to activate the followers of a community. Awards and motivations will help users interact with the company. Keep in mind that there's no more attractive word than free. So any benefit, gift, or information that is offered for free will be welcome. Attention, this is decisive and takes time, since we must listen to the user, get in touch with the technical services when necessary, energize talk, give thanks for comments, and reply to criticism. We should always try to be honest and solve problems. Multi-format. It is useful to take full advantage of all the resources of social media, text, photos, videos, audios, etc. In addition, it is proven that a photo multiplies the scope of the post. However, keep in mind that the information within the image will not be indexed by search engines. Measurement. There are tools that show relevance of each publication and allows us to understand what results in more interactions. Content mistakes and obsolete content. It is interesting to consider the following content mistakes, as well as some considerations that will help us avoid obsolete content on our website. Content mistakes. URL shorteners. Be careful with these applications. They may be interesting for microblogging networks like Twitter to reduce long links to a few characters, but we must bear in mind that they mean that the inbound links do not affect our webpage, but that of the shortening, so its use should only be for very specific cases. In addition, the newer directions created become cryptic and unfriendly. Identical content. There are many social medias and they all have their characteristics, so the content must be adapted to each network. In addition, if we only copy and paste in the different social networks, users will think they only need to follow us on one platform. Do not program everything. Although scheduling content is a valid practice, we must consider the latest news. If there are news of great interest, it is advisable to mention it, since it will probably generate more debate. We can also program publications at times that are not o'clock, since that is when most posts are published, and they may collapse the timeline. Special characters. On platforms like Twitter, we must avoid using several hashtags and mentionings of the same tweet, not to obtain chaotic and unreadable results. If a hashtag has 2 terms, it is advisable to use capital letters. For example, web positioning is better than web positioning. Obsolete content. There must be no obsolete content of our website, as this can give us a really bad reputation, especially in an online store. Under no circumstances should our catalog have an item that we no longer have. The question is what we should do when a product is being discontinued. To answer this, the following recommendation should be taken into consideration. The product page must be available for some time. It must say that it is not available and offers alternative products and current versions of the same product. It must give an alternative to prevent customers from feeling disappointed because the item they want is no longer available and leaving without a purchase. After this time, we must configure a permanent redirect 301 from the URL of the discontinued product or, in order of preference, equivalent product section header page of the same family of products or group of equivalent products or products closely related to the discontinued product. Root of the domain when none of the previous options are available. Content marketing. The word 2.0 has changed. The world 2.0 has changed enormously recently. A few years ago, the audience was a passive subject who received information through different channels, but now users can decide what they want to see and they can generate their own content. This revolution has led to changes in the proposals of companies and new ways of understanding content strategies. Content marketing is the strategy and technique developed by a company to generate and distribute quality content that attracts the target audience and builds customer loyalty. If selling is the ultimate goal of the company, these strategies must ensure the attracted user can also become the customer. And there are some steps it can follow in order to develop a marketing strategy. Current situation. The situation of the company's strengths and weaknesses, needs, expenses, and its reputation in the sector, and social media should be analyzed. The situation of the competition, its strategies, its positioning, its social media strategy should also be examined. Objectives and target. In the time it takes to ask what we want to achieve, increase the community, ask yourself, generate sales, improve personal branding. Do we have the right hosting to meet our objectives? Once this has been defined, the target audience must be analyzed by gathering the necessary information to understand their needs and how they can help us achieve the objectives. Quality content. As seen in the beginning of the chapter, original and quality content is the best strategy to add value to the brand. This is the only way to make users stay. An initial mistake when choosing content is to try to find topics for the mass public, but it's usually better to address a specific niche and a specialized market. Keyword search tools can help us know if certain topics have a sufficient number of searches to be profitable and if those searches are maintained over time. Distribution. Spreading the content is a fundamental task to succeed in the internet. The page may have brilliant content, but if the marketing is done poorly, it will fail. Social media, newsletters, paid advertising, etc. are some of the formulas that can direct users to our website. Monitoring. It is important to analyze the behavior of users and the interactions of the content causes. And analysis tools can be used to identify what kind of content works. It has more interactions and translates into sales, how users find you, etc. This will be a way to know what we are doing well and what should be improved and how our next step should be. Marketing strategy. Link building. How to get links and precautions. Inbound links to a page are one of the most important elements for Google to improve positioning. Link building is a strategy to get links of the highest possible quality and direct to a specific web page. This is an artificial link creation mechanism, but we must work well on its strategy so that these links are created naturally, since Google might otherwise consider it an inappropriate practice. Content must be of interest for the community and the sector that is linked to our brand in order to attract qualified traffic to our website. It is a complex task that requires effort and creativity. How to get links? The purpose of link building is to obtain quality links that improve popularity and positioning of our website. It's one of the most common and necessary practices. But how can we get these links? Press inquiries and releases. This method involves sending requests through different channels to certain groups of web pages, bloggers, link directories, or press release portals. The SEO specialist should convince them of why a link should appear on their web page, agree on the conditions, and even agree to a cost. Comments and guestbooks. These should be used carefully since reckless use can result in spam. However, if they are carefully used, links may be created to guestbook, blogs, photos, and even user profile. Although its value is not as significant as a natural link, traffic to our website can increase and they will be reflected in search engines. Link baiting consists of creating quality content to attract links to our content. Naturally, the content must be original and attract the attention of the users so that they can link to us and make the content viral. Suggestive titles are usually used to attract attention. The best 10 films, how to learn this in 5 days. There are many variations that achieve impact, such as reviews or opinions, offer free resources, supporting or criticizing current trends, talk about experience or professional find of a professional field, or a sense of humor. First thing to do before starting a link building action is to know the authority of the page that we are interested in to know if it is really worth it. The rating of the page is important, but also the number of outbound links. The less outbound links there are, the more value each of those links will have. The objectives will also be determined by the size of our page. If it is a small page being linked by small websites or link directories can be positive, while more relevant pages will have a look higher for their work to be effective. Partners, customers, and followers of a brand company can also be used to link your page. Offer promotion can also be helpful, so make your URL appear on your business cards, posters, and letters, etc. Precautions. A very common practice is the exchange of links between two pages. However, it is recommended that these pages are on the same subject or sector so that they complement each other and provide quality traffic to the website. Otherwise, comments could be considered spam. Regarding spam, Google's trust rank measurement, the trust generated by a site and its possible spam practices. It is good to disassociate your website from these pages, since Google detects spam-friendly websites as good candidates to be considered of the same type. It is advisable that the website we're looking for, to exchange links which does not have too many reciprocal links. It is also useful to know where our link will be, since it is part of a large list of outbound links. It will not have much impact. Selling links are also penalized. Some pages with significant traffic sell links to other pages for promotion, but Google pursues this practice and it may be severely penalized. However, selling links is not penalized, but its sale for the sole purpose of improving positioning. If it's only for improving positioning. To avoid this, a link with the attribute nofollow can be sold so that it is not taking into account for the number of links to our website must be increased progressively. If a newly created website with little content happens to have a disproportionate amount of links, Google may think that something weird is happening in its link management. This is known as the sandbox effect, in which Google scrutinizes the origins of the links. Finally, it must be highlighted that the number of pages that link us is important, but the quality of their origins is much more important. The greater the authority and prestige of the link that links us, the more decisive it will be increasing our position. Now we come to blogs. One of the best things to do is to create a business blog. This is the best way to apply link baiting and create content that gets links from other pages. Another advisable strategy is collaborating with reputable blogs. We not only talk about leaving comments on their guestbook, but agreeing to collaboration to write articles. This option can be very useful since it allows us to create content on a relevant page and sector that improves the popularity of our company and generates links to increase traffic. Black Hat SEO. Black Hat SEO techniques are unethical positioning strategies that do not follow Google's guidelines. They may work for a short time, but they could be penalized and counterproductive in the long term. Although this manual strongly discourages its use, not only for ethics but for practical matters, it is useful to know what some of these practices are. Duplicate pages. These pages are full of text and links, and they optimize for certain keywords that are constantly repeated. When users access them, they redirect to a third page without realizing it with standard content. Cloaking. This strategy is based on creating pages that show some content to a search engine and another completely different content to the user. Text and hidden links consists of creating information and links in invisible layers of links of the same color as the background to position keywords and increase the number of links. The fact that Google algorithms are so variable is a result of these practices being unethical. In short, it is about avoiding and penalizing behaviors that try to manipulate the natural order of Google indexing. Currently, Google has updates such as Google Panda or Google Penguin that make Black Hat SEO a risk that is not worth taking. Page rank. The page rank is a rating given by Google in which websites are scored from 0 to 10 based on certain aspects such as the number and quality of the links and other factors that Google only knows. These ratings are not only scores the main page, but each secondary page also has its own page rank. There are many ways to check our page rank with tools cited in previous chapters or directly in pages such as in my PageRank Biz. Obviously, we should work hard to move up on this classification, but we should not fall into depression if we see our rank is very low. Only pages such as Twitter and AddThis can reach the highest scores, and paradoxically, not even Google.com gets it. Some of the brands with PR9 are Wikipedia, Facebook, Adobe, and Apple. And to increase our page rank, we must basically improve our relevance based on receiving links from other pages. The PR algorithm values these links positively if they are effective to us. They have the highest possibility of PR rating, and of course, the better, the more, the better. However, as previously stated, quality is always more important than quantity. The PR algorithm is constantly recalculating internally, but when it comes to display its result, it is only updated 3 or 4 times a year. That is, although we have updated our website and our link building strategy, we can keep scoring 0 until the next Google update, although it does not mean it is not a relevant page. Anyway, we must not become obsessed with this value, since an increasing number of experts consider PageRank an outdated algorithm whose main function is to show a page as relevant, but not very important for positioning, since Google handles about 200 more indicators to determine indexing. Link juice. Link juice is a concept that measures the authority that each link of the page gives us based on the number of links of the page. That is, the relevance of the page is divided into the number of links, both internal and external. If a page has a single link, all its juice or authority would be transferred through that single link, while if it has 100 links, it would be necessary to divide the total juice by that number. For example, the strategy of link exchange, link juice should be high, and the number of links should not be very abundant. Otherwise, each link will give us just a few drops. There are some tools to calculate the link juice, such as the following, the Dr. MCA, awesome. Okay, we only need to enter a URL to the site where we want to check with the page rank, and the following will happen. Link juice. Oh, links produced. Oh, yes, number of links, 160. And you see how the one was divided by the other. Example shows the page ABC once this the page rank 5, the result of the division between the link and the number of links given per page, which the value of each link would give us. Other indicators. Although algorithms evolve and metrics do over time, the page rank has lost its relevance as a reference indicator, and the latest Google updates have led to the emergence of new measurements to tools to determine the relevance of a page. Social rank, social media has become very important these days and should be taken into account for SEO. As a result of this, social rank was created, which aims to measure the relevance of a page. The social rank measures the interactions of the publication on any social media and repercussions. Likes, tweets, retweets, comments, +1, etc. One of these statistics are analyzed. Once these are analyzed, it establishes the relevance of the web page. The author rank, the value is in charge of measuring the relevance of the person who has created some content to determine if it is important. That is, the author is valued and not the content. For this value to be positive, authors should identify their authorship. They must include the relative author tag in all their publications. This would be very useful, not only to calculate the author rank, but also to avoid plagiarism and to improve search engines, searches of publications. Then we come to the agent rank. The agent rank concept is closely related to the author rank. It's a kind of a digital signature for the content creator. The authority of the signatory will be decisive to benefit the different pages in which they publish content. The fundamental differences is that the author rank rates the author according to its relevance, while the agent rank values the reputation of that same author with specific topics. The reputation of the author will not be the same for any website, but it will always be based on the knowledge of the author about a certain topic. For example, the articles about black holes by the astrophysicist Neil deGrasse will be very positive in pages that appeal due to his prestige, but if for some reason he decides to write an article about underwear, his reputation will not be relevant in that field and the pages will not benefit from their authorship. These new ways to calculate the relevance of a page are an evolution for Google, as people and their authorship should become more valued.